Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me? You can write the note in the comment sections if you can hear me. I'm sorry, I'm just late. I was just trying to solve some technical issues. To solve some technical issues. Awesome. So I have not received many requests for trade analysis. So what we can do two things. If you have any trade which you want me to analyze for you, you can post now, email me, or if you have any questions, we can put it as a free question answer sessions. If you have any questions, or do you face any issues right now while you are trading, I will try to answer that and help you to move forward in your trading journey. So meantime you're writing, maybe some of you are writing the question. Uh, Maybe I would just start with, one of the questions usually people ask in their journey, that how we can be consistent in our trading or in the results. And this question is very important, but I guess the focus should be taking the trading as uh, as a business. So when anyone start a trading, and if he or she believes that the trading would help you be a super rich, uh, and within a short period of time, then I think you might be wrong, because it's very easy to lose money, but it's very hard to be uh, to make consistently profitable without having any trading plan. So in just like any other business, when you start your business, you need a plan, you need a financing, you need a risk management, you need a certain way to protect yourself. And trading is not different from any other business. So initially, when you start any new business, there's always a chance that you're gonna make mistake, you're gonna lose money, you're gonna make bad decisions because your judgment uh, have not yet been developed. So this is all these principles of entrepreneurship and about any business is equally apply to trading. But since the trading is difficult, and every time when you go to the market, uh, there is two possibilities at least. One, that either you will make money or you will lose money. And like any other business, you expect that when you do any transaction, any trade, you want it to make money. But you have to understand that, like any other business, uh, there would be a possibility where you would not uh, be successful in converting your lead into your profit. Just like if you are in the customer relationship business and you sell something to customers, what do? You go to the customer, you try to sell your product, You have a couple of meetings with them, and ultimately the customer may say that, I don't want to buy your product, and then everything, all your efforts is basically just, you know never turn back to into the profit. So similarly is the trading. So when you get an idea that, this is the way you want to trade, and you plan your trade, and then you execute, and then trade doesn't go well, the based on your expectation, and then what happened? What the happen is that right thing is to do that, you just accept that, like, that customer, the customer is saying no to you. Similarly, this trade is your customer, and this trade is saying that, no, I don't want to go with your plan, I have my own plan. And you have to respect, uh, to that trade as a customer. If the customer doesn't want to go with you, then you should accept that and let this customer go wherever that customer wanted to go. Like this trade, if you going for a trade as a long, and your idea is that you want to go long on the support of a 19, and you do not want to go below 1880, 20 cents risk you are taking on this trade. And if price drops below 1880, would you still be stubborn and bring that customer back and ask that customer to, please buy my product? Or like any other, like, respectfully you would say, I tried all my efforts to sell this, but if you don't want to buy this product, go ahead, you could do what you want to do. Similarly, if it's the stock wanted to drop, doesn't want to go with you, you just cut your losses, accept that, and move on to the next trade. And this is very important, right? And that when you trade, when you have an idea of taking any trade, you should have all the possibilities in your mind. If you go with one possibility that you will only going to win, then it's likely that you're gonna make more mistake. You're gonna get stubborn, and that is the point where you started generating inconsistent results. And why you're trying to do this behavior or demonstrate this behavior, and the reason is very simple, because see, market time and time again will reward you for your bad habits, for your bad behaviors. So for instance, one day, you let's take a single example that you wanted to go long on the 19th. You want to do a 20-cent risk, and your plan is the 20-cent risk, but price dropped to 1880. You're hoping it's going to bounce back. It went to 1870. You're still hoping on a comeback. It went to 1850. You're still hoping to, bounce back. And exactly happened that after 1849, it touched and bounced back and went back to the 20. And you made $1 on this trade. Since you did not respect the stop loss, and what gonna happen, this is called the unconsciously you are developing a bad habits in your mind, that next time when the situation occur, your mind gonna tell you do exactly the same thing, because last time you were saved from the market, you were able to turn into a profit. So you would say this time that, it's gonna bounce back, maybe let me give a little bit of room. And when you start giving some room, what you're gonna do, you're gonna basically creating uh, loss bigger than your expectations. And if you do this behavior time and again, and then after a month you will say, you know the typical problem with everyone I've been through, and you will maybe have done in the past, and you will been through in the future if we do not correct our behavior, is that we are consistent for 20 days, but one day took away all our 20 days profit. And that is pretty normal. And why it happens, because on only that day we have broke our rules, and we let trade go against us too far. And just that tail end event, a big red day, will mess up your whole everything what you're doing. So it's much easier if you know in your mind simple two things, that anything possible. When you go into the trade, you should know your entry, you should know your stop loss, and you should know your profit target. And if you know just these three, and you have a strategy to implement those three things. So it's not like that all the time you have these three and you're gonna be consistent. No. With these 3 points, entry, exit, or stop, or the profit, with these three, you should also have your strategy, what you want to plan. And in the combination of all these four things, it will give you an edge in the market, and it will help you to produce a consistent result only if you follow these principles consistently. So consistent profit is an output of following consistently your good habits. You're following your rules, and if you respect that, then the profit will automatically come to you. You do not need to fight uh, for profit. And you know that when you have in the good trade, the trade will go in your direction without any worry. But when you're in the bad trade, and you know after the minute you enter or 2 minute, you will know that this trade is going sideways, or it is not doing what you're expecting. But we get so much egoistic, stubborn, that we do not accept that when we have only loss of maybe 10 cents. We let this grow, grow, grow. The bigger that big that it will start impacting emotionally to us, and then we get stubborn and we do not accept that. So I see, uh, if we move on to the next point, but before, do you guys have any questions? Do you want to continue doing that what I'm just doing, or the normal discussion, or you have some questions you wanted to go through trades? What's your idea? If you can type on the chat, so I would know what your interests are, so we can focus our discussion, because I've scheduled this for you, so I wanted to know what you wanted to know. Any questions? So, Vero, if you can elaborate what you're saying, how many time in trading? If you can elaborate your question, I will love to answer you. And Amir, you're right that these are so obvious things, but what happened when we are in the moment of the trade? We just lost the control on ourselves. And I was reading, if you do not follow, uh, uh, Dr. Brad Steenbarger, I would advise you to follow. He has many advice for us, like those who are you know working on the trading. He's a good psychologist. He's always give a good guidance. And one of the thing he says that, and is normal. So consider yourself as a two personality in your mind. And as a human being, we do not like ourselves to be controlled by someone else. So if I would come to you and ask you to do this without your will, you will not accept or tolerate that, right? You're going to fight with me. I will become your biggest enemy, because I'm asking you to do something which you do not want. So what you need to imagine, that you are a trader, and you want it to be successful, and you want it to be profitable, and you want it to be consistent. And for that, the positive thing what you can do is just to follow the rules. So when from your mind comes this kind of a notion, oh, do not accept the stop loss. Just let it go. Consider, imagine, and visualize that, talk, or that as a person who is your biggest enemy. And once we consider someone as enemy, would never want to listen to that person, right? I don't like to listen to the person I would consider as an enemy. So literally, in literal sense, consider that voice is the biggest enemy of you, who wants you to fail. And as a as as your own self, what you need to do, you need to fight back with that thought that no, for every trade I will follow, I should know my entry first, I should know my stop, I should know my exit. And once I would know that, then I will enter into the trade, and I will never let go against me, you know uh, and then to practice that, you can use the tools to create your stop losses, right? To protect yourself, and never, and you say that, if I wanted to see myself a successful, consistent, profitable trader, I would not let go these rules away from me. That is you need to establish in your mind, and consider the negative voice as your enemy. So another question is that, how much time did it take you to be profitable? So, you know to me, it took me almost 9 months. But I would say that, this is uh, the very personalized question. You can be profitable in 2 months. It's just that, do you have the realization that you need to follow your trading plan? And everyone is different. Some people only learn after so many mistakes, after so many fall. Some people are smart. They only understand uh, in a day or two, in a month and so. So the early you will understand, because if you are starting your journey now, and if you build your right habits, and then it'll maybe a very short time period for you to be consistent. But do not run, after the consistency will come to you. What your focus should be on, as I said, do you, for every trade you enter, do you have any plan? And if you, for instance, if you follow any chat room, right, and in the chat room someone said, provide the trigger that, okay, we will go short in AFRM at maybe assume 125. And after you enter the trade, and you asking to the trader, oh, what's the stop loss? It's mean that you do not have any trading plan. And if you do not have a trading plan, if your focus is only on getting profitability, then you will lose money very quickly, because you will gonna do a lot of mistakes, because your focus is on generating profit. Like any other business, I could give an example. Your first step should be to learn that business before you any in entrepreneurship, if you start any new business, new venture, you know it's hard for you to be profitable in the first year. Just like, take an example of Amazon was not profitable for the first 3 years, but then once it started profitability, ooh, now is, if every year 40%, over 40% growth. So you do not need to beat yourself too much. Stay calm. Your focus should be on learning how to trade. So if you can show an example of trigger for entry. So we'll walk through. Once we move on to the next, maybe you can, maybe, I think for that, I don't know what time allows. You go back and look at my recaps, And you will see that, when I give the recap, I will explain that what was my thought process, what was my idea of the trade, what was my entry, what was my stop, and how much I need to take profit. So through my recaps, you would able to determine what you're saying, that examples of trigger for entry, you will able to see that. Now the next questions, George is asking, how do you choose your tickers? So see, uh, in the I what I do the twofold things. Many people have many different strategies. I usually plan my trade in the pre-market. So what I will do, I will check all the in the gappers. Any I would just first thing I will open Finviz. I will see, okay, whether the market is gapped up or gapped down. This is my first question I'm going to ask. Okay. And if the market is gapped up, then I'm going to go and see whether the stocks, what are the stocks which are gapped up over 3%. And similarly, I will go and will see that how many stocks are gapped down over 3%. And then I will ask my question that, are these stocks which are coming every day? Because if I don't like to trade the same stock every day, because what happened, I realized that I start making a lot of mistakes when I trade the same stock every day. So what I will do, my focus should be on only the newer stocks or tickers appears on that list. So for instance, you remember, if you are being trading from last 5 months or 4 months, you will notice that INO, not INO, sorry, Neo was appearing every other day in the capper list. But would you trade every day? I was doing that mistake and I was losing money on it, because I was thinking, oh, is a gapper every day is coming, I should take it. So I realized that when you start trading the same stock every day, you make more mistakes, because you think that you know that stock. You think that you know the behavior of that stock. And every day is very hard for you to have an idea that how you're going to trade. It's just gapped up doesn't mean it's gonna continue. Do they have? Does the stock has a catalyst? Any big news, or is just gapped up because some market forces or some participants wanted to buy the stock? So how do I choose? Just to summarize that question, I go to Finviz. I just check first what's the market. Is market gap down, gapped up? Then I will go and filter with that. What are the stocks which are gapped up over 3%? What are the stocks gapped down to 3%? Then I will go each and every chart, look at the pre-market actions, look at the volume, that whether the volume has over 300,000 shares traded, because I need some liquidity before I go into the trade. I will also check that how the daily look like of that particular stock, and I then shortlist one or two as my primary candidate for today, and then I will put others in my secondary candidate. If primary candidate two tickers are not behaving the way I was expecting, then I will move to the secondary traders. If they're all moving in the same direction what I'm expecting, then I usually done with my day in the 10-15 minutes. If not then I just do 15-20 minutes more. I try to finish my day around 10-15. I don't want to trade more. I used to do mistake when I was learning. So more trading more doesn't mean you will earn more. Trading more means that you will lose money more. That's what my uh, takeaway from the market is, because as a retail trader, we do not have expertise, and then we do not have a system in place to stay focused for that long, because market need concentration, market need efforts to analyze data, and it's very easy for you to be overconfident while you're making money, and you started making mistake and you lose money. So if you have that level of control, that you can continuously focus, stay attentive, don't get distracted, don't have a FOMO, don't have any greediness, and then you just follow the process throughout the day, then yeah, by all means you can do that. But I have not reached the stage where I can continue the whole day with the same focus. So I hope that answers the question that how I chose my tickers. So how do I manage my losing streak? I mean, on and off, you will see this thing. The only idea uh, is you need to focus is on that. If at the end of the day, you shouldn't ask the question that how much profit you made. You need to ask the question whether you have followed your rules, and do you have a proven strategy, where you were profitable in the past on those setups. That is more focus on. And what I do, if I lose money a day or two consecutively, then I just focus on my setup, which which I know from my past that I have over 80%, 85% probability to make money. So if, for instance, there you will find some A setup, sometime you will find B setup, right? And you have to define for yourself that what you consider A, what is the best for you. And I know my best setups. So if I'm losing money, then I stop everything else and I just focus on my A setup. And when you get a setback, of course, is a setback, you're losing money, but you just ask the one question whether you're following your rules, following your strategy, you're not, are you respecting your stop losses? Uh, and if all these answers are yes, then you do not need to worry on the losses, because the losses soon turn into a green. Because if this is explained that you need to accept that this is as the nature of probability. So it doesn't mean that first three trades are, it's also happened on the same day. So for instance, in the morning, if you lose first trade, what you gonna do? Are you gonna stop trading, or you gonna do a next trade? Does the first trade, the loser trade, has any impact on your next trade? If the answer is yes, for instance, you have lost a big amount given your tolerance, then I would say then you should stop trading, right? You should not trading. But if you think, for instance, my per trade loss is $400, and I lost first trade, that's fine. I lost second trade, another $400, that's fine. Now, losing two trades, are these losing two trades having any impact on me to take the third trade? And if the answer is yes, then I should not be trading. But if the answer is no, then I do not, I don't worry about my losing trade. I'm not looking even my P&L. My focus is only on my third trade, not just to take back my money what I lost in the first trade, but looking for a setup that this is my setup. I'm going to look at it, and if my I found the setup, then I'm going to take it. And if your focus is on the trade setup, then you do not need to worry about the first two losing trades. So what is my trading plan? So, I usually like opening ranges. Uh, I like, breakouts, breakdowns, formations. Specifically in the first 5 minutes, first minute, I would like to see the trading plan in a sense that if the stock trading over the VWAP, under the VWAP, it gapped down or it gapped up. What is the market depth saying level two? Does it show any weakness in the level two, or it shows any strongness? So, see, just like if you look at the, let me open the yesterday TLRY. If you see my screen, so yesterday TLRY was gapped down, right? And but I was expecting this to bounce back. I didn't take this trade, but I was expecting this to bounce back. And why? Because I'm looking at the daily, and if you look at the daily, it already sharply came down from all the way from, if you look at it from 67 to 34. That is a big drop, and it has a big drop here. So I was expecting that it's going to bounce at this level. I didn't trade because on Friday I completed my day on my first trade, and I was focusing on that, so I didn't. But even though it was negative, but I was long biased on TLRY on this day, particularly on the first opening range. So if you look at it, if this is my good setup, but I would go the full size because it was gapped down as well. So you know I would be conscious on it, but I will go definitely. This is my one of my setup that. Um, so if you see the pre-market range consolidation from 9 o'clock to 9:30, the first minute candle tried to broke the pre-market range, couldn't break, bounce back, break out on the top of the pre-market. I would go long here at the 2980 level, and I will ride this to up to that level. If I was watching it, this is my setup. But would you take every day? No. If the daily is not look like this, I wouldn't take that, because you also need to know that what was stock was doing yesterday, what stock was doing day before yesterday, what you thinking, does it make sense, what other people were thinking. Always ask this question. Okay, you wanted to go long, whether other people also wanted to go long at this time, because this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? You will only be successful if more than if many people are thinking in the same way. If many people are not thinking in the same way, then you likely will not see the impact. Because see, in order to have this kind of a move from 29 to 31, you need a volume. And if you see here on this 1 minute candle, is almost 1.6 million people bought shares. So 1.6 million is a big volume for 1 minute candle. So you need that many people to join you for that. So many people look at these opening ranges, and and some people, even I don't usually follow, my is not my trading setup, but some people also do a double bottom. So for so many people, this point is a double bottom. So first and second, so many people went long here as well on this, because this is a double bottom now. So is a different setup, but only what you need to focus on, what is your setup, what you are comfortable is. So for instance, if I go long here, which I said the 2980, what will be my stop loss? My stop loss would be the low of the day, which is a 90 cent stop loss. So if my 90 cent is a stop loss, and I usually like to have my $500 stop loss for per trade, what would be my share size? I will take my 500 share size, right? But if it moves below, would I stop out? I have to respect that, because if I don't respect that, if it's, for instance, if it's rejected that, then if it's immediately come down, it can go another $3-4, right? So because the opening ranges are so difficult to trade, you have to be very smart, very fast in using your hotkeys and making decisions very quickly. If your mind is not trained to make this quick decision, then you do not trade those ranges, because then you're gonna most likely you're gonna lose money, because your mind is not trained uh, to you know to make the decision. Just take an example. So for instance, you are just a normal driver, and the other guy is a Formula One driver. Whose senses are more stronger? Whose reflexes are going to be more stronger? Who's going to take the most fast decision about the turnings, about the brakes, about the speed? Of course, a Formula One driver. Why? Because he the Formula One driver has trained uh, himself or herself that how he needs to turn, how he need to make a break, what hurdles comes in, then he need to turn, how much before the time he need to take a break. Everything he knows, because he has done the simulation practice that much that his mind is completely trained about it. And if for instance, if it's your first day or maybe your first month, and you are just going to go and trade the TLRY, and you're gonna go with the 500 or 1000 share size, you most likely, maybe you make money in the one day, but may likely be you're gonna lose money on the second day, because this is extremely volatile, and your mind have not yet trained to reflect when when it go against you, right? If it's going in your favor, then it's just no problem. Then everything is green. You have no worry, right? Because things are going in your direction. What you worry for? But if it's started going against you, that is the trial. What you gonna do next? Would you stick with your trading plan and take your stop loss and accept that, right? Or you don't do that. Or maybe what happened is that it came down, you stopped out, and then it moved back up. And then once it moved back up, you ask yourself a question: were you going to be affected if the stock does this? That instead of it went against your direction and then moved back to your direction, will you get frustrated? If the answer is yes, that you will get frustrated, then it means that you are not yet ready in your mind that anything is possible in the business of day trading, and your mind is not yet trained, is not completely tuned to realize, to accept that everything is possible. Everything is possible. All scenarios are possible. It can go up directly $3, you can make money. It can go up slightly, take you in, and come down again for $2 and then come back again. So anything is possible. What you need to do, you have only control on yourself. You cannot control how the stock is going to behave after you go into the transaction. What you need to do is you just need to control yourself. Your focus should be on that you only control yourself. You know your entry, you know your exit, you know your plan, you know your profit target, and this is the way you need to do. How many tickets you use per day in average? So see, I usually do not focus on the tickets. I usually more take more quick partials. Uh, you know, and depending on some of my strategy in opening ranges, uh, I don't usually wait too long. I just look at the key levels, and based on the key levels, I just just like if you see here on the 5 minutes, I have marked some levels. So I every pre-market I identify some levels and mark it. So for instance, if we just take an example, if for instance we I this pre-market, I'm analyzing it, not yet we know what is going to happen, right? So first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to see, okay, first thing I usually go with the 7 o'clock or 7:30. I will say, okay, from 7 to 7:30, what is the range? $2.84, almost $3 is the range between the 7 o'clock to 7:30. I will note down into my notebook. Then second I will do, okay, from 2 7:30, what is the range? So from 7:30 to 8 o'clock is a range again, $2 and $2.70. So nice. So it's consistent. Between 7 to 7:30 is also same range. Between 7:30 to 8 is also range. Now I will take from 8 to 8:30, what is the range? Because these ranges are now important. Now you see from 8 to 8:30 is $2. So I'm looking at it that momentum for going down, it's slowing down. So from $2 now is only going $2.8, now only $2. Now look at it from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, $2.23. What happened from 9 to 9:30? Only 88 cents. So I now know, based on my analysis, that as is coming going down, it reduced the ranges. So it means that it doesn't want to go further down, because if there is no momentum, the stock is getting exhausted now on the way down. So what I will do, I will mark my levels. I will say this is my top, this is my another top, and this is my bottom of my pre-market. So if stock move, I will take my first partial here, and I will take my second partial here, and see. I didn't know that, but look at how much it respected the pre-market level. Why? It's not because I market, because every other trader is looking at the pre-market levels. So similarly, if it's going long, people is taking profit here, I will take profit with them as well. So I do not usually have any limitations on ticker, but uh, but as a new beginner, you should focus on that. You shouldn't be taking too many trades. So you should have your plan, and you will say that I will trade 1,000 shares, which equal to, I will take three trades, and I will make sure that I will not repeat. If one ticker give me a pain and it become a losing trade, I would not trade that ticker again. You should ask this question every time, so it will help you to avoid revenge trading. Because if you're just gonna keep trading the same stock, you would not realize that you are wasting your time in the morning, the very crucial time, and you're gonna keep losing because because this is very uh, difficult profession, because there is no one with you. You started learning. You don't know everything about this day trading. You're still learning. There is no one who is monitoring your actions. There is no one who is controlling your risk management. Everything you have to do is like just like any other business. When you start, you have to wear one hat and do everything together. You will be the person who will be doing everything. So you will be the risk manager, you will be the trader, you will be your coach, you will be your educator. Everything is depend on yourself. If you have enthusiasm, you have a motivation, and if you have all the factors in place, then you will do. And and that's why it's harder, because this is all about your self efforts. If you're able to put a lot of efforts for your improvement, then you will see the results. And it's a self-driven profession. So therefore, you make your own rules, and assess yourself. Ask yourself that what are your weaknesses, what you have done in the past, which made you lose, and you write it down, and you just say, put it every day before you start trading. You should have made your journal what you did yesterday, all the learning points, all the things which you think you should be not be doing it, which is the not to do list. And what other thing you should do it. You should read it before the market opens, and you always keep those things in front of you while those things have not yet uh, you know ingrained in your mind, because you're still learning, so you have not yet completely bought those ideas. So what you need to do before every trading session, you should read all your mistakes and all your good things. Good things you want to continue, bad things which you want to avoid. And if you have a lot of bad things, then you stay focused on the one thing. You can, as a learner, you cannot do everything at one. And also what you can do, you can also uh, use the demo account and your real money account together. So for instance, you know you're doing a good job in the morning sessions, you did a good result, but you're still learning, you have a full day. So what you gonna do? Would you use your real account to do an afternoon trading? I wouldn't do that. What I will do, I will learn in the afternoon session in my demo account. I will see that how the market forms, how the trend trades works, how breakdown trades works, how breakup trades work, when breakup trades work, when the market is also breaking up, when breakout, why, what helped the stock to move, does there any catalyst, how the news, when the news comes in, how the stock moves. I will learn all this factor. I will make my diary, make my notebook. I will analyze that. I will put my thoughts. I will take trades, but I will take trades either in the demo account, or maybe one share, two share, or maybe 10 shares, enough to keep me motivated, but not enough to make me break. What is my favorite setups and playbook strategy? I usually like the opening ranges, opening consolidation, uh, bull flags, bear flags. Just like yesterday, uh, I have traded what was it, FIS? No, FSR. Yeah. So yesterday I have traded FSR. So I'll give you example. So you can see I will create the recap as well, but you can see. Uh, so if you look at it in the pre-market, I was looking in the pre-market. You see there was a range here in the pre-market, and after 9 o'clock, the range has been broken, and the stock went sharply went up. And now this is very interesting. I'm going to show you. So as I mentioned, I like the uh, opening ranges. So I went long when is unable to broke the first minute, and I went long here on $18. It went back up before I take any partial. It came down and it just dropped. I was stop out on the 17, I think 1719 I was stopped out. Why? Because that is the way, this opening ranges works. It will go in your direction, or either it will not go into your direction. And I was stopped out. What I was frustrated? No, I was not frustrated. What if it's went back up on the on the fourth minute? I will go long again, right? But right now, the setup has failed. I was expecting this candle to go at least touch this level, 1850, and the next candle go above that. It couldn't go. That's fine. I was stopped out. Then another strategy would have, and looking at the tape, if the stock couldn't, if the stock gapped up but couldn't make the new high, then it's likely that it will go at least for 10 minutes in the negative. I will show you the 5 minutes. This is a strategy which I follow, that at least the stock who couldn't go up, at least for 10 minutes is going to go down. So 5 minute and the 5 minutes. So after the first 5 minute, I went short here on 1780, and I took a one partial, and it touched back up, and on the 11th minute it stopped me out at 1780. And when it stopped me out 1780, now I understood completely based on this bullish candle. Look at the candle, beautiful candle. Then it's gonna go long. Then I went back long again here, and I ride it all the way to this, and then some profit at 1940. So this is, I did the three trades in the one ticker. Were there any of the revenge trade? No. Were all of there is part of my playbook? Yes, because I like to trade break up on the opening ranges. If it fails, I see whether it is forming something in a way is breaking down the first 5 minutes, because usually if it breaks first 5 minutes, there's a likelihood that it's going to continue for the first 10 minutes. Just like look at the Disney was like that yesterday as well. I didn't trade the Disney, but Disney was gapped up. If I was looking at the Disney, then I definitely gonna short, you know. So if I were trading Disney, what I will do, I will go first with the gap up trade. I will go long here because is just breaking the opening ranges. So I'm gonna go long. I should be, if I was trading, my plan should be here. I would I would definitely gonna go long here, and I wanted to see this continue going up. If it fails, then I will stop out, and now I will show you the 5 minute candles. So you will see what I'm selling. So if this breaks, I first fail, then second minute it break the first 5 minutes, I'm gonna go short. And what will be my profit target? Would I expect the profit to be all the way to down? No. I wouldn't know that this stock is going to do this much. What will be my profit target? My profit target would be the low yesterday closing, which is 190. So almost $1 stop loss with the $2 of the profit in my mind. And I wouldn't know that it's going to go this much, but I was pretty sure that if it's going down, it's definitely going to touch the prior day close. So next question is that do you take the market order or limit order? So I take both depending on situation. If I planning the trades and if I have enough time, then I will go for the stop market orders. And it's much easier. I just use the hotkey just here. You see, I just placed my stop limit order here to short. So you know this is the way I do. It's very easy for me. I already set up my hotkeys and everything, so it's much easier for me to be very fast. Um, and For profits, usually I take market order, but I also when I expect a spike up in certain stocks, just like the TLRY or any other stock which is very volatile, I usually place my limit order for profit taking in way in advance. So if price spike up, I will get my profit. I do not really care whether it touched and then come back down. I doesn't, I really don't care. I care that I should get those profit once the price spike up. So how much is your buying power and what percentage do you use? I'm not sure how much you guys are familiar with the trade net. So I use my trade net account, and I have a pro account. For pro account, those who are aware uh, about the trade net, I have a $240,000 um buying power. And what percentage do you use to take partials? As I mentioned, I usually go for the key levels. Uh, and also I also look at that how much I have a stop, how much I'm taking risk. So if I'm taking risk for 40 cents, and I usually expect that the next level for profitability should at least be having a 40 cents, and then I will only take the trade. And if I don't see uh, uh, you know that much potential, then I wouldn't take trade. So my first partial usually always be on the next level, which is always be the 1 hour, and then as I move along, I will take the profits. So any other questions or any clarity you guys want? We have couple of more minutes. Uh, I hope you guys liked it. I will really appreciate give thumbs up and share uh, this live session and the video after that, and subscribe to my channel. And feel free. We have couple of more minutes if you have any more questions. Someone was asking the name of the psychologist, which I said is the Dr. Brent Steenberger. I'm posting the name on the comment section. You're welcome. Yep. If you do not have any questions, again, like your thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and share on your timeline. I would really appreciate. Why do I use EMA? I basically use EMA. It will help me to know that the price movement. So, for instance, if I am going long, for instance, if I plan to go long here on the Disney, I know that these moving averages can be my resistance. So I need to be very careful that does it break these moving averages and how does it break. And if it does not break those moving averages, then I'm getting ready to stop myself out. So these moving averages and the VWAP are the very important indicators for you to guide you that how price is moving. Because see, if price action is very important for you to read, but it's very hard that y- sometime to analyze and understand in the moment. So moving averages will help you to understand the price moving. So for instance, in my on my chart, the white line shows me the 9 EMA, right? 9 EMA means it will show me that from the last candles, how is the stock going up or stock going down? What is the based on that? VWAP will tell me based on the volume traded, is it have a buying pressure or is a selling pressure? Everything on my chart is going to show me that whether the stock have a buying pressure or selling pressure. Yes, I will make this video available for to rewatch as well. Yeah. And Pedro, I also blew up my account, so this is pretty normal. As a human being, we start with that, we get greedy and we break our rules, and this madness, everyone does this madness. So yeah, this is the typical life of a trader. All right, thank you guys for joining, and wish you good luck on your trading journey. Thank you.